Welcome to this Quick Take Rapid Learning module. Today's topic, Coaching, How to Turn Around a Struggling Team. Scott manages an underperforming team, but not for long. He has a plan to turn things around. First, he observes and interviews his employees. For the low and average performers, which is most of the team, he identifies skills and knowledge gaps. Paul is disorganized. Jill talks excessively and doesn't listen. And even Kathy, one of his stars, has great technical skills but can't seem to hit project deadlines. So Scott creates a separate coaching plan for each team member and commits to getting them all up to speed. Makes perfect sense, right? But 6 months later, Scott's team is still struggling. All that planning and coaching barely made a difference. In this quick take, you will learn what research reveals about the best way to turn around a low-performing team, why efforts to improve deficits can backfire, and where to focus your coaching efforts to get the best results. When managers are faced with the task of improving a low-performing team or individual, they often respond like Scott did. They focus on plugging holes, fixing employees' knowledge and skill gaps. But multiple studies suggest that this approach is often dead wrong, not only failing to improve performance, but actually making it worse. A more effective approach may be to build on team members' strengths rather than correct their flaws. One study, for example, looked at more than 2,000 managers and found that those who focused on enhancing strengths were far more successful. 86% of these managers led above-average teams, versus only 45% for managers who focused on improving weaknesses. But did this training strategy create the successful teams, or were they simply a consequence? In other words, were the managers able to focus on strengths because their people were already high performers, or was the training itself responsible for the high performance? To answer that question, another study looked at what would happen if a strength-based training strategy was applied to low-performing teams. It looked at a large underperforming hospital with low morale, high turnover, and poor patient satisfaction ratings. No doubt the researchers could have identified many areas where employees were deficient and tried to plug those holes, but they didn't. Instead, they administered a Strengths Finder assessment to each of the hospital's 700 employees. Then they gave the employees feedback on their strengths and offered talent development opportunities to build on those strengths. Over the next 2 years, employee engagement more than doubled, turnover decreased by 50%, and customer satisfaction ratings went up 160%. So why is focusing on strengths so effective? Because you can't improve performance without first getting commitment. And research shows that employees are more likely to buy into organizations and bosses that develop their strengths versus those that try to fix their weaknesses. Employees don't think of themselves as problems and don't want to be fixed. So when managers rush in to fix deficits, even with the best of intentions, their efforts often backfire. Employees become more disengaged and more resentful. They're less likely to take ownership over results. They feel more stress and anger. Their productivity declines. And many will conclude that they need to get out of an environment where they're undervalued and unlikely to succeed. But when you help employees develop the talents and skills they already possess, they become more confident, more motivated to improve, and more willing to stick around. Those positives can have a big effect on an organization's bottom line. A study of over 300,000 employees found that when a worker believes he or she has the opportunity to do what I do best every day, she is 1.4 times more productive and 1.4 times more likely to stay at her current employer. And a follow-up study found that these employees are 6 times more engaged, which makes them eager to go above and beyond for their organization. Of course, you can't ignore serious deficits. There's a baseline of proficiency you need to require from your people. And if a specific skill or knowledge deficit is holding back an employee, by all means help him or her work on it. But if employees are just okay at certain tasks while great at others, the research suggests you'd get a better return by focusing most of your coaching and talent development efforts on building up those strengths. In fact, Top performers tend to be more lopsided than well-rounded. They're exceptional at a few things and good enough at everything else. In high-performing teams, these lopsided stars fit together like pieces in a puzzle, allowing each to do the tasks he or she is best suited for. So, if you're trying to turn around an underperforming team, you're unlikely to accomplish it by trying to fix everyone's skill gaps. Instead, create lopsided stars and put the pieces together. For example, if Kathy, the high performer we mentioned earlier, has great technical skills but struggles to hit project deadlines, pair her up with a superior project manager. Let's review. Most team members possess a complex mix of valuable talents and skill deficits. The research says that a manager's natural tendency to focus on skill deficits often backfires. Trying to fix people can trigger anxiety and resentment, causing performance to decline. A better approach is to focus coaching efforts on helping team members enhance their strengths. You'll get better buy-in and create a more engaged, loyal, high-performing team. Thanks for watching. Now return to the program page and take the quiz. Also, please take 15 seconds to click on the survey link and fill out an evaluation of this program.